Welcome. Tonight, a diverse group of activists look at rebellion in 2016. Are we still making change? Then we'll turn to the pages of Ebony magazine's rich history and admire the amazing pictures that tell the story of people of color. Plus, one of the nation's most talented artists takes us through his collection. And then we'll celebrate the sounds of Christmas with some of music's biggest stars. But first, January 2017 marks the end of the Obama era in the White House. With that departure, many African Americans are suffering what is being coined as the Obama blues. That condition seemed to worsen with the election of Donald Trump. Tonight, we ask the question, is the dream that President Obama made a reality now becoming a nightmare? As the Obama presidency comes to a close, many see this as a conclusion to something they thought would never come true. The Obama's departure from the White House is the end of what many saw as a dream fulfilled. The Radford family lives outside of Washington, D.C., and parents Jesse and Almeda admit they will suffer some letdown when the Obamas leave the White House in January.
It's been exciting the last 8 years to be able to see them as a family unit serving, and I think for me personally, I have some concerns about that because I've grown accustomed to it.
Our daughter, all she has known in the White House were the Obamas. Just recognizing that it's possible, I think for my children, especially my daughter, to let her know that it is possible. I think that is something that she's going to take away from, and that we're going to try to keep in front of her, that even after they're gone, that it is possible.
Booker T. Wilkins is owner of the All-American Barbershop in Alexandria, Virginia, where politics is debated often.
Both these candidates are flawed candidates. Nobody liked either one of them.
Wilkins is a huge Obama fan. He's also fearful that Donald Trump may have started something he can't stop.
This thing could turn the country back. I'm hoping that he have enough power to stop this monster he done started. And I don't think he realized how bad it really is. That thing is pervasive.
From patrons in barbershops to millennials voting for their first time, many black Americans were shocked election night when Donald Trump won the presidency. Many are asking, what will life be under a Trump administration? Some have taken to the streets to protest the election, saying Trump is unfit for office. But the reality is, after taking the oath of office on January 20th, Donald J. Trump will be the president of the United States. Many saw Trump as only pandering to black voters.
What do you have to lose? I will straighten it out.
But there are those who say you have to have a wait-and-see attitude.
We have to give them an opportunity. Either we're going to be in the game and look to improve our community in spite of what has been said and done, or we're going to be on the onset just looking in while everybody else gets something out of it and we get what we've been getting for decades when it comes to elected officials in office.
Political analyst Lauren Burke says that's not going to be easy for many black voters.
I think for black people, it's always been a challenge to trust the government, trust the system, you know. Why should we trust the system? For 400 years, the system has been systematically against us. There's no reason for us to trust the system. So if there's a malaise in the black community, we've earned it more than any other group in America, period.
Democratic pollster Cornell Belcher's latest book is A Black Man in the White House. He's concerned that those who want to skip showing resistance will assist in normalizing the divisive and ugly behavior that Trump and some of his supporters have shown.
We can't normalize this in any way. I mean, what he represents is a threat to the values of all of our country. What he represents is a threat directly to our community. What he represents is a threat and disrespect to the sacrifices that our grandmothers and our grandfathers made in this country. We have to have resistance to that.
Many, including former National Republican Chairman Michael Steele, believe this election should serve as a wake-up call to all African Americans to see they've been taken for granted by both parties.
We need to just wake up to the reality that, you know, we get pimped by one and pushed around by another. And it's just the reality. And we ultimately have, as we see with other communities, we ultimately have that power in our own hand. and we should never give it away freely.
Author Sophia Nelson's upcoming book, E Pluribus One, talks about national unity, but she believes the president-elect must be held accountable.
Donald Trump was saying how black people live in hell. They walk outside their doors and they can get shot. Now, in Chicago and some places, that's true, right? But if that's your lens, President-elect Trump, of which you see black people, you've missed a lot and you've missed an opportunity. Do we gain anything by disengaging? I think not. Or do we have to re-engage in a different way?
Nelson says one of those ways is holding Trump politically accountable. One group that will be asked to hold Trump accountable is the Congressional Black Caucus. 2 veteran members, Congresswoman Maxine Waters and Congressman G.K. Butterfield, say they're ready for the fight.
There are 2 points of view. One is a minority point of view, and that which I don't subscribe to, and that point of view is let's go ahead and reach out to Donald Trump right now as he's putting together his administration and see if we can explore common ground. Well, I went through the civil rights movement. That didn't work with racists back during the 60s and 50s. What we had to do during those days was to create an environment for negotiation. And so that's why I subscribe to agitate, agitate, agitate.
We're looking at how he's putting together his cabinet. And there are many people who are frightened and who are worried, but many of us are thinking we're ready for the fight. We're just going to push back, we're going to fight, we're going to do everything that we can.
Attorney A. Scott Bolden is a former chair of the D.C. Democratic Party. He says the fight is not just for black elected officials, it's for all people of color.
We may not like going back into battle, but we survived the Bushes and the Reagans. You got to lace up your boots, you got to put your helmet on, and you got to ride out now. And that's the message to black America. After you get done mourning Barack Obama leaving, it's time to go fight now. It hasn't been easy, it's never been easy, and we as a people are built for that.
Up next,
we are fighting against the violence that has been perpetuated on us for as long as we can remember.